Hey everybody, so Truly and I got to go to the historic Chinese theater in Hollywood to check out an advanced screening of Godzilla. And it was pretty rad.
Yeah, it was great. Right off the bat, this movie is easily an 8 out of 10. 2/3 of this movie are fantastic.
Yeah.
The other third is pretty good. It's all right.
Every second that Godzilla was on screen was awesome. The monsters, Godzilla and the Muto monsters also, they were treated with such respect and like huge grandeur and everything. It was legitimately really awesome.
It was fantastic. Gareth Edwards, you can really see a lot of his influences from his earlier movie Monsters, really taking that and applying it to this world that Toho has. And I think there was parts where I actually felt emotionally invested with the monsters more than the humans.
As much weight as he gave the monsters, that's how little he gave the people in the story. I feel like there were several beats in the movie that should have been emotional, that should have told the story from the human's perspective, and they just didn't. There were some lines that were even sort of echoes of earlier lines and like lessons learned in the beginning, coming back to pay off in the end, that just didn't. Like it was there in the script, but it just didn't work on the screen. But the monsters were awesome.
By the time we got to Godzilla's iconic roar, the audience just went nuts.
Every time you saw Godzilla come out on screen and roar, and there's this big, great reveal of Godzilla, everybody just went nuts. It was just the giddiest theater I've ever been in.
I think one of my big issues with this movie is several times it uses the trope of everybody staring at one thing and then one person turning around and seeing something much more horrible.
And like everybody's looking at a monster wreaking havoc up on the mountain, and then there's one little girl that turns around and realizes a tsunami is coming.
I couldn't decide if that was like a conscious sort of like kind of campy choice or if it was, I don't know, it just wasn't clear to me.
Well, look, there's a lot of things in this movie that didn't make sense. Like, number one, why do soldiers with little machine guns think that that's gonna do a thing to a 30-story monster?
There was a point where I was
like, no, just cut it out, man. Just wait for the planes to
don't
get
even
here
carry
at least.
the gun. You'll be a little lighter. It'll be easier
you'll be
to
able
run.
to run away faster if you don't have the gun. So there's a lot of things in this movie that ultimately don't really make a lot of sense. And I think the sum total of them, though, didn't break the movie. I think you run into movies like Man of Steel, where all those little things add up to just be like, nope, movie. Like in this, all those little things, the sum total of it didn't outweigh how awesome the rest of it was.
One of the things that I really liked is the last section when they fight. That's not a spoiler. You know what's gonna happen. It's a Godzilla movie. If they don't do it,
Monsters
that
gonna
movie.
fight.
That last section feels like the most epic WWE fight of all time.
Yeah.
They get entrance music in their own way, and it's
some of the sequences actually look like the old-fashioned suitmation. Like so there was some, you know, the cityscape was CGI'd like seamlessly for most of it, and then there'd be one or two shots that they sort of look like a scale model.
And one of the things that Gareth Edwards talked about was how he wanted the monsters in this Godzilla movie to have been the monsters that people saw and went and told people about at Toho.
It seemed like a really good homage to the origins of Godzilla.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
It seemed like they really appreciated and really loved the old Godzilla movies, and they did it right.
My biggest problem, I think, with the movie was Aaron Taylor Johnson just can't hold this movie together. And some of his stuff, I think, was the least interesting.
To be fair, he started in a big hole because all of his first scenes are with Cranston. And it's like, and dude just can't keep up. It's like he gave the camera an excuse to be around the monsters, is sort of what the character was.
But I think these are all sort of nitpicky concerns. The movie is great. I see it on the biggest
Go
screen
see it
you
big.
can.
See it big. Go. The 3D was fine. They didn't do a whole lot with the 3D.
I thought it was really subtle in a nice way.
It's not necessary to go see 3D, but the 3D is not going to get in your way. And just have a blast in the theater. Don't feel bad about cheering when you see Godzilla on screen, because it's going to make it fun for everybody.
I laughed, I cried, I squeed.
You squeed?
I cried a little bit.
You cried a little bit?
Cranston made me cry a little bit.
Cranston!
I got the watery eye, and then my fingers had popcorn on them, and I touched the eye, and then I was like, oh, this is gonna look worse than it actually is.
It's not gonna be any good at all. All right, so go check out Godzilla this weekend, and come back and let us know what you think about it in the comments down below, and check out all of our other Godzilla content here at CineFix.
Yeah, we did a musical that was a lot of fun that you guys seem to have enjoyed so far. Those of you who have seen it.
So the rest of you, go watch it, and then tell us what you think about it in the comments of that video. But in the meantime, come back next time for more movie news here on CineFix Now. Click like and subscribe, and we'll see you later, I guess.
The only thing I feel like it was missing is just like Godzilla roaring and everybody's eardrums just exploding.
Yeah. Godzilla roars and then cut down to the people beneath, and they're like head popping, with like tomatoes.
It's like everyone's
it
just
sounds cute. It's like bubble wrap.